His paddock of cows and goats needed constant expanding. The clientele on whom he could test his decoctions was so large that Ole became as skilled as people were starting to say he was. The medicine man with the stolen name was already wealthy by the time he celebrated the arrival of his first son. The baby survived those critical first years and was, in accordance with tradition, trained in his father's work. Ole II spent many years alongside his father before the latter passed away. When the day arrived, he kept his father's stolen name, but did away with the title of doctor and burned the white coat, since patients who had come from far away had testified that doctors, in contrast to medicine men, might be associated with witchcraft. A medicine man who developed the reputation of being a witch would not enjoy many more days in his career, or even his life. Thus, after Dr. Ole Mbatian, came Ole Mbatian the Elder. His firstborn son, who grew up and took over from his father and grandfather, was in turn Ole Mbatian the Younger, and it is with him that this tale begins. Chapter 2. Ole Mbatian the Younger, then, had inherited his name, wealth, reputation, and talents from his father and grandfather. In another part of the world, this would have been called being born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His educational journey was overseen with care, and, along with friends in his age set, he also got to take a detour through warrior training. He was thus not only a medicine man, but also a highly esteemed Maasai warrior. No one knew more about the healing powers of roots and herbs, and only a very few could measure up to Ole when it came to spears, throwing clubs and knives. His medical speciality was the prevention of more children than a family wished to have. Unhappy women flocked his way from Migori in the west to Majimoto in the east, several days' travel away. To have time to see them all, he had an admission policy of at least 5 previously delivered children per applying woman, of which at least 2 must be boys. The medicine man never revealed his formulas, but it was easy to tell that bitter melon was an active ingredient in the cloudy liquid the woman must drink each time she ovulated. Those with extra sensitive taste buds could also detect a hint of the root of Indian cotton. Ole Mbatian the Younger was richer than everyone else, including Chief Olemeili, the well-travelled. Besides all his cows, he had 3 huts and 2 wives. It was the other way around for the chief, 2 huts and 3 wives. Ole never understood how he made that work. Incidentally, the medicine man had never liked his chief. They were the same age, and even as children they knew which roles they would one day shoulder. "My dad rules over your dad," Olemeili might say to tease him. He wasn't wrong, even as Ole Jr. preferred not to lose in an argument against him. Instead, he solved the issue by whacking the future chief in the face with his throwing club, leaving Ole Mbatian the Elder no choice but to vociferously give his son a licking, even as he whispered words of praise in the boy's ear. Back then, it was Kenyan the Handsome who ruled the valley. He was secretly plagued by the realization that his epithet was not only accurate, but in every meaningful way the sole admirable trait he possessed. He was no less concerned that the son who would one day take over appeared to have inherited his father's shortcomings, but not exactly his physical beauty, and it didn't help young Olemeili's appearance that the medicine man's boy had knocked out 2 of his front teeth. Kenyan the Handsome had an endlessly difficult time making decisions. He even let his wives decide for him now and then, but unfortunately he had an even number of them. Each time they were unable to agree on an issue, which was almost every time, he stood there with his tie-breaking vote and no idea what to do with it. Yet, in the autumn of his old age, and with the support of his whole family, Kenyan managed to accomplish something he could be proud of. He would send his oldest son on journeys. He would go much further than anyone had done before. He would, as a result, become well-travelled and return home full of impressions from the outside world. The wisdom he gathered on his journey would be a help to him when it came time for him to take over. Olemeili would never be as handsome as his father, but he could become a resolute and forward-looking chief. That was the plan. Now, things don't always turn out the way one intends. Olemeili's first and last long journey was to Loyangalani on his father's orders.